Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 953. Is that it? I think so. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, everybody?
All right, so we talked about it the other day, Terminator.
Yeah, I think somebody from that company was watching our cast because it was hours after we did it that they released this announcement.
You really think so? It might be.
I don't know, but
Who knows?
it's probably
It
just a
could be.
coincidence. But so I don't remember who it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the person who they're eyeing to direct the next Terminator movie. But whoever, I apologize. Their name has slipped my mind. But
Well, anyway, we were talking about I wanted T2 and you
yes.
said T3. And it's very funny how, I think maybe they did see our cast.
They said it exactly the way you said it. They said we're going to do something after T2.
Yeah.
Which I'm very surprised at, but I'm not mad at it. I'm just kind of surprised.
I am so happy right now about that.
They said they have a great idea for the future of the franchise post-Terminator 2.
And if they took our ideas, I'd be so happy. I don't want any money. Whatever. That's great. Just fix it, please. Just fix it. We don't know what the idea is, unfortunately. But
so here's my thing. And I was going to ask you this before. Where do you think they go from here, post-Terminator 2?
you know what? I don't even know right now. I'm happy about it, but I don't.
Do you think that they do another story with Sarah Connor and John, or is it in the future? Obviously, it's going to be in the future, but
I think it would be that John is an adult, and he's going to his mother, and he said that this is a new future, but maybe he needs to run for office, or maybe he needs to do that because he needs to be empowered just in case. I mean, you just went through all this stuff. Why wouldn't you try to lead? Just in case. I mean, here's the thing. He's not going to be like a janitor. He would try to. The Connor the John Connor from T2, and the one we talked about from the future, right?
Yeah.
He would try to become a leader, powerful, because if the Terminators did appear, or he would have to have his own army.
Well, let me just say this too. The quote came from David Ellison from Skydance, I believe Skydance Pictures, and this is basically what he said, and this is his quote. I will say we have resolved the future of the franchise, and believe me, it's an incredibly bright future. I think where it's going will be the continuation. Will be a continuation of what the fans really wanted since Terminator 2, T2, Ellison said, confirming earlier reports about furthering the Judgment Day storyline and concluding the franchise. We have something this year that we will be announcing for the franchise. It's something we're incredibly excited about, and we think is the direction it needs to head. That's what he said, speaking to Collider.
Could they have it where John Connor's the president of the United States, and that there's somebody that's developing a time machine that makes a thing to the future, but it's not our future? That's an alternate now future of the Terminators to welcome, bring them in.
Honestly, I think anything's possible at this point with this. Honestly, I'd rather see him and Sarah, or just him on the run.
I mean, they're not going to do it where they go back further than Sarah, right? I mean,
no.
They're not gonna do that.
I think they learned their lesson from Genesis. The one thing about Genesis that may be a good thing is that they'll look at that movie and see what not to do.
Exactly.
John
Connor's the hero. Just so we know, he has to be the hero.
Yes.
He cannot be a villain. You cannot have the mother try to kill their son. It wouldn't. I mean, but from her perspective, she wasn't a mother yet.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm going to blow your ass up. But the thing is that if she was pregnant and she did have a 2-year-old and she knew that was her son, she would not kill him. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it'd be
no
really
matter that
difficult. Yeah.
No, she wouldn't. I mean, if you're a mother, no, the hell with the world. They'll be like, no. So, again, Amelia Clark is done in the role. She said it, unless she's lying. No, I don't think she's lying. It's got to go forward. You know, and I don't believe in 3. I don't believe in any of that stuff. So
it's going to be really difficult for them to be like we have to differentiate this from 3, the main storyline of 3. They can't say Judgment Day is inevitable. They have to have a reason why it's still happening.
I'm going to tell you that Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be a scientist making the Terminator, and he'll do something like leaving his post like "I'll be back," but like a joke.
They actually did that in 3. There's a deleted. Did you ever see that deleted scene?
No. Oh, there is.
There's a deleted scene in Terminator 3 where it's like a meeting of the United States, like some higher ups in the United States Army and like, you know, politics and whatnot, and they're looking at the T1s and the hunter killers that they have, and in this video, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the human character, is this army guy, and he's got this really cheesy Southern accent. Like, he gets on the video and he's like, "Howdy there, everybody!" And they're like, "What the?" And they're modeling, like, we have future models that are going to be modeled after him, right? And then one of the politicians in the room goes, "I don't like that accent." And one of the other politicians looks over, and it's Arnold's voice, and he goes, "We can fix it." And I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah, that would have been.
This is real. But I tell you, just find it on YouTube just to see Arnold, because it's hilarious.
And he talks in a different accent.
He turns to the camera and goes, "Howdy there, y'all! You're here to see the new T1 models." And I was like, what what is happening?
You mean he can do different accents we don't even know about?
I think they voice over dubbed them, but like,
oh wow,
it was hilarious. And I was like, wait, this is how they got the idea? Like, this is what Skynet was like? Yeah, he's the one.
I gotta watch this. Like, now I gotta see this. This is hysterical. But so now this is not even James Cameron.
No,
this is the Genesis people, but gonna reboot it again. Or not reboot it, but like,
maybe they're gonna wait, and then Cameron's gonna help them do it or something. I don't know. I have no idea.
He's gonna get it though. After them, so he's
yeah,
gonna do his own
maybe
anyway.
they have a working deal where he's like, "Listen, give it back to me. I'll give it to a director who's I think it's Miller something," and then.
So in other words, they'll get to keep the rights. Oh no, he'll keep the rights, but he'll let them do it.
That's what I'm assuming. I mean, I could be
wrong. He
wrong.
liked Genesis, I guess, right? So.
Well, that's what he says. I mean,
listen, my main thing is this: I am old school. I want the Terminator franchise to continue. You know, many years ahead. You know, I'll be like a grandfather with my grandkids watching Terminator. Like, I don't care about that. You know, like. So I want to see it continue. So whatever. Let's go. Get it right this time. Hopefully.
You know, honestly, you know what was really good? Even though the movie wasn't that great. I read the novel for Terminator Salvation before the movie came out. The novel's actually really good. It's got a really good story. And it doesn't have that crazy ending where they were going to rip John Connor's skin off and put it on a Terminator. There's actually a really good twist at the end of the book, and I really wish they would continue the novel series just so we could see that, even though the movie was not that great.
Well, what if the thing is that they sent a Terminator before the timeline got erased? They sent a Terminator to like that year, I guess. And then they, instead of trying to kill him, they try to pull him out of time so he's not there to lead.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I'm excited to see what they say they have a good idea. I want to see what this good idea is before I make any judgments.
The good idea is John Connor is never a villain.
Yeah. That should be the idea.
And he actually is a leader and strong and not taking drugs in a veterinarian's dog cage.
So let me ask you. if you were the director, who would you cast as John Connor?
How old is he going to be?
After T2, let's say he's in his late 20s. Let's just say, like 25, something.
Oh, I don't even know, dude. I mean, that's like a spur of the moment thing. I got to think about that. I don't think it shows.
Do we hear Chris Evans?
As John Connor?
He cut some weight. I tell you what, you ever see the movie Snowpiercer? Snowpiercer, excuse me?
No.
He's like John Connor in that movie.
Yeah, but you know what though? I don't know if it would work with him because he's like Captain America and a leader and the same.
Well, there
thing.
you go.
Like, no, you can't have almost the same thing.
No,
I mean, he won't be
he
throwing a shield around, but he'd be a soldier.
He would be much different, obviously. But I think you have him cut some weight, dye his hair black or whatever, brown. I could see it. I think he could pull it off. You got a big name in that movie. People want to go. He said he's gonna be done with Avengers after Infinity War for a little while, anyway.
I mean, is there any action hero right now that's in their 20s? That's why don't. Oh God!
I just had an image of John Cena.
Hugh Jackman.
Oh no, he's too old.
But it's
he's
in the future.
Way too old.
It's in the future.
No, but like I'm saying, if it wasn't like in the far future, like if it was.
Oh, but I mean, if it was in the future, he could be it. But
if it was in the far future, yeah, I could see Hugh Jackman.
What about the Kingsman kid?
He's too young. He's way too young.
What about like Ryan Gosling?
That might not be too bad, but I don't know if. Would you take him seriously as John Connor though? Like,
I don't know.
He's a good actor. He could definitely pull the part off. I don't know if he would like. I don't know. I have my reservations with him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Like spur of the moment. Like who the hell is out there?
Hey, I have an idea. Let's make it John Boyega. No.
One of Poe Dameron. No, he's older, right?
He might not be too bad.
Poe Dameron.
Oscar Isaacs. Maybe. John Cena.
Yeah.
He could be the Terminator.
Well, first of all, let's just get this straight. First of all, the Terminator can't be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's too old now.
Can't. And the Terminator's it can't be somebody ridiculous either. It can't be like The Rock.
No.
It can't be like that female lady.
What about what if they make a really, really big Terminator and they get the guy that plays the engineer from Prometheus?
You could do that.
I mean, I'm just being stupid there. I said,
You mean somebody tall? You mean like really tall?
Like really tall? Like maybe like someone like not bodybuilder. I think maybe you can get away from that. Or maybe
you're not gonna make Batista the Terminator.
They could make Batista the Terminator. He's got a different build than Schwarzenegger, so it might be different.
Might be.
But they like here's my thing though. What are they gonna make this Are they gonna make another new Terminator model?
I think because things got so screwed up that everything's prevented certain things, so there's no liquid metal maybe.
But if this is after T2. If this is after T2, the T1000 would exist.
All right, so we're gonna still do liquid metal, right? Here's the thing. You don't have to do a more advanced Terminator than the T1000, right?
I don't think so. In the Terminator, like in the expanded universe, they have these things called Infiltrator 95s or something like that, where it's a human being that has like cybernetic implants that is controlled by Skynet.
Isn't there something in the further future that's like the Terminators and the humans are going against or something? Or is that just a...
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I know in one of the comics, the most advanced Terminator they have is a Terminator that can time travel by itself. Like it has the parts built into its body, and it can like time travel and like appear in other places in like seconds.
I definitely don't want that.
Yeah, me neither.
Look,
it looks cool, but it's like...
Look, just because you're in the future doesn't mean you have to be futuristic because there's a war. You don't have to have everything like, oh my God, totally advanced.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, what?
It was kind of like Mad Max type of future.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it's super advanced technology things. I mean, it's like, you know.
What if Skynet finds a way to send multiple Terminators back?
Well, maybe they did. That's the whole point. Look at that rack that was supposed to be scheduled to be zapped out.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it takes an enormous amount of energy. It needs to recharge. It's like, bop, bop. You know, like it probably has to, maybe it's like every 10 minutes or something or whatever. And maybe they just, I mean, honestly, if you're the Terminators and things could go wrong, you could be like, all right, 1984, you go. 1985, you go. 1985, just in case. So what would happen is they're all sent around the same time, and reality would change each time with the Terminators in a different universe.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. With this one, they could have said, look, if we screw up, the next thing would be to send a Terminator. They wouldn't send it right away, you know, like, because they would probably send it 10 years later or whatever. So now, how many years has it been since T2 is out?
When did that come out? 91?
Is it like 30 years or something?
No, it didn't. Wait. When did Terminator 2 come out?
I can't think at the moment.
Hold on.
You look it up.
Yeah. I feel like I should know this, but I just don't.
Well, we both should. I mean, shame on us.
Yeah, 91. Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's getting up there. 25, 26, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, is Linda Hamilton going to be in it?
Well, that's what I was thinking before. I was like,
I mean, how old is she now?
I have no idea. Let me look.
Again, no disrespect to Linda Hamilton. I'm not like, you know, she could be in it.
Yeah, but these are things that you have to consider when making a movie like this. You know?
Right. I mean, she can't look.
Oh, she's 60.
She could do it. Throw her in there.
She probably could.
She could be in it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Let me show you this.
Well, let me ask you a question. I had this thing, right?
Yeah.
You're in the future, right? And they're battling to take over. Here's my thing. They're both in a war with each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So you win rocks, right?
Well, I mean,
my thing is this. Why didn't, besides the Terminator, why wasn't there, like, resistance members just jumping back in the past and saying, screw it?
They didn't have the equipment. Skynet had it.
I know, but, I mean, once they got there, it's like after he got zapped out, you know, Tom, like, why don't they just couple them just...
Didn't Kyle Reese say they only had enough power to make one trip afterwards?
Yeah, but then why was there... One? But then in Genesis, it was a rack of them.
Yeah, well, Genesis is the outlier. You know, that Genesis, you know... Personally, I don't take anything in Genesis seriously.
I know you can. I know.
Here, let me show you this. This is the Terminator I was talking about.
What the hell is that?
This is called the T-Infinity.
Oh God.
And apparently it can time travel.
But it's not. You got. Here's the thing. You could create more advanced Terminators, but you got to be able to stop them. It can't be ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can't have like a ridiculous thing that it doesn't die. Then it's like the Sentinels.
Yeah.
With the X-Men. I mean, that was ridiculous in itself. You can never beat these friggin' things. At some point in time, the discussion needs to be made in the writer's room. We're just not going to make a super advanced Terminator every time. We don't need to be bigger and better. If we could make a good enough movie, the Terminator keeps coming back to life as liquid metal or whatever we're going to do, and that's fine. People are not really going to pay attention to, oh my God, it's a fire Terminator. Or it's a Terminator that looks like Silver Surfer on crack.
You know, apparently, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Matt Smith's Terminator is apparently called the T-5000.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
From Genesis.
First of all, would we give Matt Smith another chance?
I wouldn't. Not that it's his fault, but I don't want anything personally from Genesis in any news stories.
So basically, how are they going to do this with Genesis never happened?
They don't even mention it.
Well, that's like crappy.
They say that Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 happened. 3,
Which is like
Salvation,
Superman
Genesis.
Returns. But the problem with that is that they went in the wrong direction with that. Now, again, what you want to do is, first you got to make a good movie.
Yeah.
Like a really, really great movie. But besides making a great movie, you want to make it where you can make a franchise out of it. Stuff occurs, you know, just like, you know, Avatar freaking 17, you know? You have it, you lay it out. We need to do this to have Terminator 1, 2, 3. You know? Treat it like gold. I mean, you can't screw it up. You know, if you're not ready, the script's not ready, the script's not ready. I mean, you know, always, you know, give Arnold Schwarzenegger a job, give the Hamilton a job, you know, something, part of it. You know, maybe you can even have him as a Terminator for a little bit and get whatever. I don't know. But the thing is that, yeah.
You know what really worries me about this now that I think about it? What if we get into another type of story here that they're doing with this new Predator movie? Where they just do something crazy and it's like, well.
What, like something else?
Like.
In the Terminator thing that kind of stops the war from, like.
No. I mean, anything that like they do something really crazy, like not John Connor being the villain, but like they throw like a Terminator in there that's like, I don't know, it's got like Gatling guns for arms or something.
Well, let me ask you a question. What if John Connor says, you know what, screw this. I'm going to make my own form of robots that are not Terminators, that are totally good and protectors of the Resistance. And like that they're just flat out soldiers, but they can't kill a human being or something.
That would be weird.
I mean,
I have a feeling that they're gonna. However they explain Skynet is still around is gonna be some weird like maybe the whole idea of this is because they said that they're going to conclude the franchise. That's what their quote. That's what his quote said.
Franchise?
It said for the conclusion of the franchise or something like that.
Of what franchise?
Of Terminator. Like they're going to end the story.
Totally.
So, yeah. So yeah. So maybe
so
what
they don't want a franchise then. They want.
Well, I remember early. They're probably going to want to make multiple movies, but they're saying that this whatever they're going to announce is going to start the end, like move towards the end. So I remember a couple of years ago, before Genesis came out, that there was a script idea that had the war, like Skynet knew it was going to lose, so it sent a whole bunch of things back to the past in order to try to take over sooner. Mm-hmm. And like Sarah Connor was in it, and John Connor was in it, and they had Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, and it was like humanity was fighting Skynet in the past before Judgment Day. Maybe they're going to do something like that where it's not just John Connor and Sarah Connor and the Terminator fighting, you know, Model X Terminator. Maybe Skynet's going to try to take over earlier, and it's going to be like more people know about it now than just a few people, and like there's a whole bunch of people trying to fight against it or something like that.
Well, you know what it could be? It could be there's a war, but the Earth doesn't look like that. It looks like now, but
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
before Judgment Day.
The way I would end that would be they're in the middle of this war. They're almost losing the Terminators. They get this like mysterious message, and their whole plan is different. And John Connor, they're going after him. There's another time machine thing, right? They get there too late, and they're like, all right, where do they go in the past? And like, they didn't go to the past. Like, where did they go? They went into the future. So in other words...
But if they're going to do that, that breaks the rule of Terminator 1.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe they would, because they already broke it already. How many times? So the thing is that...
they did... I mean, not in this technical timeline. They've never traveled to the future. Only in Genesis and Sarah Connor Chronicles, which now I don't think are going to be canon to the story.
Right. But if they did do that, even if John Connor won the war...
Yeah.
By the time they travel to 100 years later, they could take over everything. 100 years later after that. Because
I think they need to lay off with the complicated time travel and just do it once. We went to the past.
So how about we do a 2017? There is a war going on, but it's not like we think.
Yeah, it's a bit different.
Right.
Like it's not Judgment Day. It's Skynet took over, but maybe Skynet took over, but he didn't
Skynet. No. Skynet didn't take over the USA, but Skynet took over the other countries in the world.
Well, what stops him from nuking us then?
Well, it'd be a thing where they're on one part of the world, we're on the other part of the world. The world isn't rocks and messed up like that.
Yeah,
and
but
it's a more technological war, like.
So you're saying Skynet took over every other country but America?
I'm saying that we could do a thing where, besides the Skynet sending people in the past, Terminators.
Yeah.
There could be another base or something that the Resistance sent resistant fighters in the past, not to fight, but to build technology. So when it gets to this point, like 2017 or whatever, they have technology to deal with the Terminators here.
That sounds like Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, you know.
The only issue I have with Skynet taking over every other country is what stops them from. It doesn't
have to be every country, but it could be maybe just one, maybe a small country, or maybe something that they're not as powerful, but they're powerful.
I don't know. There's a lot of problems with that. I mean, if it takes over a small country, it's easily stopped. If it takes over a superpower, Judgment Day, it just nukes everybody else anyway.
But maybe they have defense against the nukes. Maybe they just
how?
I don't know, dude.
In the past,
I don't know.
Because if it takes over one country that has nuclear weapons and it fires at multiple other countries, they retaliate, and it's like there's Judgment Day. Because that's what he did. No, I keep saying he. That's what it did. If you remember in Terminator 2, it said it took over the United States and it fired our weapons at Russia, and they retaliated, and then everybody else did, and that's what caused Judgment Day. The only thing I can think of is this movie's either going to take place where they're fighting Skynet, but it hasn't caused Judgment Day, or it takes place in the future during the war, which I think is a bad idea because
it's just going to be a thing where, like a ripple, just like they said in X-Men. It has to happen.
Yeah.
But because of time travel, it's been delayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's still going to happen in order for the timeline to not be destroyed. But they're going to have to be better equipped to deal with it this time.
See, this is the main reason why I said they need to keep 3 intact. Because they could have started from the war. They could have started from in the war. Because at the end of Terminator 3, that was Judgment Day.
Yeah, but that was a shitty way to go about it. It's like, oh yeah, you're standing, you're the leader. And he's not a leader. He's not. There had to be stuff that he did that made him into
right, and I think that's what we could see. I think that's why I was so like, you know what, keep 3 because we've got through this past stuff already. If we're in the war now, we can see him build up.
Yeah, but I don't want that rendition of John Connor to exist at all.
Yeah, but it would be a different one. You cast a different actor.
We just need a whole different story than that.
I mean, John Connor wasn't really that great in Terminator 2 either. So I mean,
but he was that's different. He's a kid, and he's like, come on, you can't. Oh yeah, at 5 years old, or 12 years old, or 15 years old, he's going to be like super soldier thing. I mean, that's like
but I think it's unrealistic to expect that of him in Terminator 3 as well. I didn't really like the actor that played him.
It wasn't believable to me that was the grown-up version of Edward Furlong. I think he would have been a little, tough.
They could have picked a better actor, I agree, but
No, that wasn't just the acting, dude. It was the script. It was everything.
The script was bad, but I'm saying that solely for the end of that movie is why I would keep it intact, because then we could just get into the war.
Well,
we can see John Connor rise.
Then you could do it in this movie. You could just show whatever. I mean,
you show it at the beginning, I guess, but I mean,
what does Edward Furlong look like now, anyway?
I have no idea. I saw him in a movie. I saw him in a Sci-Fi Channel movie a few years ago.
Really?
But it was called Mansquito, I think.
Oh my god!
And it was like him fighting like human mosquito hybrid. He looked exactly the same, just a bit taller.
Really?
But that was like 10 years ago. No joke.
Oh my god!
If that was him, I'm pretty sure it was him.
I want to see. What
if not, it was someone who looked exactly like him.
Oh, here it comes. It comes right up when you type in Edward. Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my god. He can't. No, he can't. No. No. Not gonna work. Yeah, no. Somebody else.
I'm telling you. Go
Nothing
Chris
against,
Evans.
Nothing against Edward. No, I mean, I don't want that, man. Because I'm telling you, it's too similar. You don't want to have him typecast.
He's not. John Connor is much different than Captain America.
But it's just, he's a soldier. He's telling the team, go here, like do this, but it's too much like Captain. You can't have him in there, man.
Well, I mean, they did Christian Bale, and that was meh.
With that, I don't agree with Edward either. But I mean,
what? Oh, you mean casting Christian Bale as John Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't fit the part. I don't.
That was that whole controversy. He was a dick on set.
He wasn't even. I don't think, from what I remember, he didn't even audition for that part.
He just threatened people. They made fun of that everywhere. Remember that?
Oh yeah. I remember when that happened.
Yeah, no, we don't need that.
I don't know, unless they get a new actor to play him. But I mean,
we have to really do research on this to think who could be taken seriously, as if we were doing it ourselves. You know?
Oh, I am being serious. You got to watch.
Me too. I'm trying. All right. So what is it?
Snowpiercer.
That's my.
You see what I mean? He plays a John Connor character in that movie.
And this is Chris Evans.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find a picture for you so you can see what I mean.
I probably can. I'll type it in right now. (2013), right?
Yep.
I see a picture of him. He's got like a beard, axe. Okay. John Hurt was in that too?
This one right here.
Wow.
I'm screen sharing one right now.
Wow.
That looks like a shot from Terminator to me.
Yeah.
Like in the future.
Yeah, pretty much. You could do that. Yeah.
I mean, just give it a shot. Like, obviously, give him an audition and see it.
Well, let me ask you a question. What about Andrew Garfield?
He's too young.
Is he really?
I mean, unless you want him to play, like, not in the war.
Too young?
He's too young to be John Connor now.
What do you mean?
John Connor was
how old do you want? First of all, how old do you want? First of all, he's 33 years old.
Oh, okay.
So how old do you want John Connor?
He's older than I thought he was. So.
Right. How old do you want him to be? In his 30s, right?
I'm trying to think of how the timeline would. Depending on the movie, he'd have to be. I guess in his 30s, maybe close to his 40s.
I got casting for you. What about the guy in The Flash that plays Captain Cold?
I don't watch The Flash.
You know what? I'm going to get him up. He's in Prison Break. What about him as John Connor? Hold on.
Let me see.
He's on Legend Tomorrow.
No, he's too old. Not the guy you're talking about. I was thinking about somebody else. All right, let me see. My thing is that you can't pick some like schmo that can be. They can't pick some guy that could just, it's just John Connor. Like, there's got to be somebody who can bring something to the part.
All right, I'm going to show you right now. Ready? John Connor.
I don't have anything against him here, honestly. Maybe.
Why not? Looks
No,
like-
I mean, if he can do something, if he can bring something to the part, why not?
I think so. Wentworth Miller. I think so. See.
It could work. Who knows? It really depends on what they're going to do, because if it's going to be in the far future, he's going to have to be a bit older.
But it doesn't have to be in the far future. It could be like, I mean,
If it's not in the far future, then yeah, I could see them
mean
casting
now?
a younger. Yeah, I could see them
Right
casting
now.
a younger guy.
yeah. Do it now.
How old was he in Terminator 2?
Oh God, now we're gonna.
Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah, your turn.
Yeah.
I've
Because
enough
if
Google
that was
for it.
in 91,
They should be where he's the age of now compared to what it was back in 90, whatever. He's 30s, in his 30s, right?
in his 30s, yeah.
So that should be.
Yeah, I guess.
And they should do it because he gets married, he has kids.
Yeah.
They should play that out too. You know?
Oh,
Maybe
he was
maybe-
10 in Terminator 2?
yes. Maybe they could play it out where everything happens the same with the exception of the war. Like, he still meets that girl that's going to be his wife. He still has kids. And there's no war. And then he still has the training from his mother.
Yeah.
And he trained his
So-
wife.
He'd be 37 if
Okay.
they can. If the movie comes out in 2018 and they do that, he'd be 37 years old.
Okay.
So it's got to be somebody who. It can't be some 20-year-old or 25-year-old actor.
Right.
It's got to be somebody.
Okay. But, and that's another thing. It's like, I know you don't want to get complicated with the time travel thing, but
Well, that's
As-
just me. I mean,
and every time you have a new timeline, you're going to be sending them back to what, the original timeline,
that's the thing. It's like
or they go to a dual alternate timeline all the time.
because how many times are we going to get the same story where it's like
going back,
they're in the past, they send the Terminator back, fight the Terminator, beat the Terminator. It's like we've seen that already.
Well,
3
then
times.
you just don't do it when nobody
4
goes
times.
back. You're in the present time, and maybe they developed Terminators in this time,
I guess.
and there's no future for them to report to. It's just could be. Maybe they
Hey.
were built, and never used or something or whatever from the arm still. I mean, but then they do something. I mean, there's probably another copy of all that data.
Well, I mean, they said they destroyed all of it in Terminator 2, but yeah, I mean, they probably backed it up somewhere, even back then.
Somewhere. That could have been a thing.
It was the 90s. We're not talking about like the
Right,
60s
and
or
they
70s.
could have just developed. You know what it could be? It could be that, let's just say he becomes the president, and then there's this company that wants funding, and then they decide, the hell with it, we're going to make a coup or something in America, and it's the Terminators.
Could be.
And he's like, oh shit, like they built them, but the only difference with the movie would be is that there would be no Judgment Day, no missiles fired, but they're in present time, and there's an army of them.
Yeah.
And he's by himself, and he has to create an army of resistance to fight the Terminators without any nuclear war happening. You could have that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because when you start doing the nuclear war thing, that's going to be like a thing where you really need that to happen in order for the Terminators to be around. Not really. I mean, you could do a thing where time has changed, but it still happens without Judgment Day. Like, he saves all the people from dying, but he didn't stop the Terminator from being created. You understand?
Yeah.
It's like that still happens, but not nuclear war.
Who knows?
And then you could look, there could be tons of different things going on where, and that's better because it's a brighter future, more hope, but there is the threat. and the threat being that the Terminators are still here, and maybe in this instance, time travel isn't created.
Personally, I think they're going to do something similar to that, except I think Skynet's going to send stuff from the past back. I think they're going to do that script idea that they had.
What, from the future?
Yeah, that Skynet knows it's losing, and in order to stop it, it sends multiple things back to the past. And that's our...
Like there's starting to be like a time storm in the future?
No. Like, it's just Skynet knows it's losing, and in order to try and prevent itself from completely losing, it sends back like 100 or something things
right. That's
to a certain timeline. Not like all over time, but to one time to try and eliminate John Connor and Sarah Connor once and for all.
Like, in other words, they'll empty out the future of all their Terminators to go back
or a good majority of them, yeah.
So
Maybe not all of them.
And maybe not just the Terminators, but the Resistance would come back too.
Maybe, yeah.
And they fight the war in 2018.
Something like that, maybe, yeah.
That would make sense.
Because that was the apparent idea that they had before they came up with Genesis. Because from that script, because I remember distinctly in that script, they were like, Sarah Connor is the main character.
Right.
And lo and behold, look what happened with Genesis.
Well, let me ask you a question now. Say the future, like I told you, why wouldn't they just all hop to the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say the future empties out, right? And they said, screw it, we're going to the past. All the Terminators are going to the past, we're going to the past too. We don't care if we ever get back, right?
They can't get back.
Right. So then the whole thing is that if John Connor comes back in time too, the leader with the Resistance, and he dies in the present, but the future self, it doesn't matter because there's a whole new timeline.
It's an alternate timeline, yeah.
Right. So
again, unless they change the rules in the story that if you die in the past, your self dies in the future.
There's two John Connors now.
Yeah, but we're thinking about it from like, our idea of time travel. If they want to change it in the narrative, they could.
Oh, they're not going to change it. They're going to be like a future version and the past version.
Oh, you never know.
I mean, are they going to do the time cop thing where they can't touch each other or they merge or some shit like that?
I don't think they're going to have a lot of the Resistance come back, to be honest with you, if they do that. So I don't think the Resistance has the capability to do that, to be honest with you.
Right. So you don't want anybody recast. You don't want anybody cast from Genesis in this.
No. Well, unless they put Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, which is,
Arnold Schwarzenegger is different. That's different.
Yeah.
No Amelia Clark. None of that.
No.
Okay.
I would see if you could get Linda Hamilton back, and I would recast John Connor as somebody else, a better version of him, and then you go from there.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Because, this again, we're just speculating.
Yeah.
They could come out tomorrow and be like, "Hey, guess what? There's gonna be a friggin' Terminator in space." And
I just thinking that in my head.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Right. They're going
who knows?
Now the war is waged on Mars.
Because I always said, not like in space, like I don't mean like fighting planet to planet, but like if Skynet really wanted to, it could back itself up into a satellite.
Right. Or it could beam itself out into space if somebody finds it or whatever. But the thing is this, like, all right, by that time the Earth is so effed up. So what if you have to leave anyway? So that's beyond. That's like Terminator 2323. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that could be really that could be the thing. Like, let's say they go with the story that it's in modern day. Skynet in the future knows that it's losing. It comes back with a whole bunch of Terminators, and it uploads itself into some satellite in the present. And it's trying to cause Judgment Day, but it can't do it because of some reason that they'll explain. And there's like a modern day war with Terminators, and they're trying to prevent Judgment Day from happening again or something like that. I mean, what if it's this? What if the Terminator feels, well, they prevented Judgment Day, but maybe that's not a bad thing. Yeah. So let's just not let's not blow everybody up, because then we have the means to make more Terminators and more things if everything. That's possible. I was gonna say, what if it's a completely different operating system that's based off of Skynet, but it's something worse.
How worse can it get? I mean, that's like, what do you mean worse? Like,
Well, what I'm saying is let's say they follow off of Terminator 2, and all of the progress that they made with Skynet really was destroyed.
mm-hmm.
So they can't remake Skynet itself, but they make another, like a newer operating system that is like Skynet, but it does different. Like it doesn't perceive the same way. Like it doesn't perceive humanity the same way Skynet does.
Like
so
in
it
other
doesn't
words,
cause
instead of killing humanity, it tries to
enslave
absorb
us
humanity
or something.
into like a mechanical human
Something like that, maybe. Because
like they did with the last movie though with John Connor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They did that whole thing. What was the thing that Matt Smith was a part of, where it was going to take over?
I mean, he was a different thing, but
that's the problem. See, that
movie
took so many good ideas that they could have possibly done, and it ruined them.
Right, but the thing, I know. So instead of it being Skynet, it's now Genesis, which is probably
Genesis,
like an iOS 7, iOS 8, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing
Genesis.
is that I don't want to see human Terminator meld synthesis.
I mean, they don't have to do that. I wouldn't do that at all because that's a stupid idea.
With John Connor, that just sucked.
Unless they do it the way they did it in the other in the expanded stuff, where it's not like John Connor, but it was human beings that just were captured and experimented on, and they had Terminator parts.
Well,
I mean, that's what they did in Salvation, and it kind of worked.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I mean, again, we're just speculating. If anybody has any ideas, leave them in the comments, because I'd love to read them.
And if anybody that's making the Terminator movies wants to talk to me and Chris, we're available. I'm even more going to be available at the end of next week. I love when we have these talks, man. It's great. Just keep going on and on and on. I don't even know what time it is. What time? My God. Oh, it's not that late. 12:45. All right.
You know what they need to do? They need to have Terminators with lightsabers. That's the next step.
Yeah. Let's do amalgamation of universes.
Yeah.
Why don't we just have the Predators land on Terminator time and they fight each other?
Hey, they did that in comics, so it's not too far.
I know. There was like, was this a real video game? There was a video game. Was it RoboCop versus?
Yes, that's a comic book too.
But there was a game I had, RoboCop versus the Terminator, right?
Yes.
And that game was great.
Yep.
Damn. I was like, how did he get that done?
That actually, the idea for it actually isn't that too. It's not that far out there, because they're like if I remember correctly, they said that the technology that they gave to RoboCop was an early version of what Skynet would use.
Right, I remember. Listen, if they did RoboCop right, that would be great too. But can't have everything, I guess. Now we're gonna see how Aliens is gonna do. Alien Covenant.
Dude, we've got Terminator, Alien, and Predator coming out. They could do Alien versus Predator versus Terminator.
Well, but Predator sucks though.
Well,
we think.
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
we gotta wait and see. Who knows?
Can it ever be that people just do it the way it's supposed to be done? Instead of, wouldn't it be cool if the Predators were scientists and they created Franken-Predator that's 15 feet tall?
Well, here's the thing, though. We could have a wouldn't it be cool moment in this new Terminator movie, and it could completely ruin it.
Well, they already did that.
I know, but they could do it again.
John Connor was the villain.
I mean, that's the worst. But they could be like, wouldn't it be cool if Skynet was actually an alien? And be like, oh, great. Like,
wouldn't it be cool if the Terminator infects Linda Hamilton and he has to kill his own mother? No, terrible.
Shh.
Terrible. Yeah, no, don't give me any
watching
ideas,
this video.
I know. Listen, not for nothing. It's open. It's out there. Everybody's watching other people's stuff. Stars watch people's stuff. It doesn't have to be. I mean, there's no big deal. It's not like we're celebrities or anything. It's like
you know what? You know what happens? I got it. Skynet causes Judgment Day. He nukes everything. It turns out that this Terminator movie is part of the Monsterverse. Godzilla wakes up, helps the Resistance fight Skynet.
Imagine like you have a little Terminator going for Godzilla.
And they make Mechagodzilla. Skynet makes Mechagodzilla.
Let me tell you something. Not for nothing, but with all this Godzilla talk or whatever, one of my favorite Godzilla movies was the first time Mechagodzilla appeared.
Mm-hmm.
That was the greatest scene where they're talking. They're like, "Why is Godzilla attacking us? Why is this?" And then you see like the little, you fight Anguirus, and Anguirus knew that he's full of shit, and he's like, trying to get hurt,
Mm-hmm.
And then you see like the little, what's that thing? What's that? Is that just dust? No. And then when Godzilla came on the scene, I was a kid. That was the greatest shit I've ever seen.
I like too because they freak out. They're like, "There's 2 of them."
Let me tell you something. The movie was out before I was born, I think.
Mm.
But they had this theater that had Godzilla movies, and they played it years and years later. And I remember being a kid, and I just saw that in the theaters. I was like, my mouth was open. I'm like, this was the greatest shit I've ever seen. And that's my dad told me that was the greatest. He got me shaking.
Well, when you really think about it, Mechagodzilla came out before the Terminator.
Yeah. Yes, it did. That's right. So, give me my Mechagodzilla. Give me my. I'm still holding out hope for Sigourney Weaver aliens.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Please, Ridley Scott, have a heart. Please, Ridley Scott, your only hope.
Oh gosh.
Ridley Scott, how about this? Instead of 6, do 7, but do it soon.
Gosh.
Alien 5, please.
Do one every month.
Listen, you're going to live to be 120. It's okay.
Wow.
Believe it in your head and just do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Me too. Hey, listen, many. It would be nice to be that age, but not be where you can't even walk. Like if you were like 120, but like we are now, that would be cool. Or even even if it's less than that, you know what I'm saying? But to be like so old where you can't even move and you're like trapped in your own body.
They perfect human cloning, then they perfect mapping out your consciousness, and then they just upload your consciousness into your clone body. There you go.
They'll free some people. They'll wake up like 100 years from now. They'll still see me on YouTube.
Yeah.
And be like, I live forever.
Yeah.
Matrixlord212, and it's like, oh my god.
I'll wake up from cryo sleep and be like, what have I missed? And then they'll be like,
Like,
welcome
geez.
everybody to the Everything Show episode 2,075,000. I'm like, how many episodes did I miss?
Jesus.
You would go, come on here. Welcome everybody to the Real Whovians cast. Welcome everybody.
Just make
like we're talking about the casting of the 49th Doctor.
Right. Yeah.
And the question is, are they going to be from Venus or are they going to be from Neptune?
Right.
Those damn Neptunians.
It's like, and again, you always got to find something to make it fresh.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the Doctor travels to subatomic levels. Those universes. Is like,
he crosses over with Ant-Man. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Jesus. Which is not a stretch because the Doctor was in the Marvel Universe. And the Doctor fought Doctor Doom. And the Doctor was friends with Reed Richards. He hung out with Ben Grimm. It was crazy. It was the 7th Doctor. And then I think it was even might have been the 6th Doctor and it might have been the 8th Doctor. I hung out. Just chilled.
It'll be in the future. I'll come on here. So, Joe, are you excited for Shin Gojira 58?
Well, that's another thing we got to talk about, actually. Unfortunately. I'm a little afraid about Shin
Oh,
Gojira
I'm afraid too.
Yeah, be afraid. Be very afraid. Because when Godzilla has breasts, that's when hell freezes over. And Godzilla turns into a woman and she looks human. And she's 90 feet tall.
Yeah, but remember, before that, he sprouts wings.
Wow.
And he flies around Tokyo like Rodan.
God.
He's got a turbine in his tail. He looks like Q-Rem from Pokemon.
It's like, what are these people thinking in their head?
Hey, but I mean, I got to tell you, this animated movie is starting to sound pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now the same people that did Shin Gojira going to do Shin Gojira 2? Was it going to be a whole new director, whole new writer? Was it going to be Evangelon people?
I think it's going to be the same people.
Same people.
Pretty much.
Is Godzilla going to fight Evangelon? Or that was just a teaser thing, fake thing?
I honestly, it's just a joke right now.
Was it?
I gotta tell you though, they're making some they're making like crossover action figures, like what ifs.
Right.
They look awesome. They've got a version of like Mechagodzilla
Oh,
that
God,
looks out of this world.
I would love to see that shit. I would love to see Godzilla. That was great. Because you know what I like too? It's like growing up, it was variety. You know?
Yeah.
We had Megalon, and they had the freaking drills, and and the way they were like, talking to Gigon, and like, are we going to team up against these two? I love that.
I like how they were just so nonchalant. Oh, call those people, tell them to send Gigan.
Right.
All of a sudden, you see Gigan flying through space. It's like, oh.
Yeah, Gigan, you want to go to Earth? Take care of that? All right, thanks.
But you want to know, like, this is the scary thing. In Megalon, they said that there were people living in the Earth. What are they doing in the Monsterverse? They're saying that there's monsters living in the Earth.
Now, Megalon wasn't an alien?
He was going to be, but then they changed it.
Okay. But they were friends. Him and Gigan were friends.
Yeah, they were like a tag team. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. And then Jet Jaguar was supposed to be Ultraman, right?
That was supposed to be his movie. It was just supposed to be him. And then they're like, this isn't going to work.
Right.
And they're like, well, put Godzilla in it.
But wasn't Jet Jaguar like a takeoff of Ultraman or something?
It's something like that, yeah.
Okay. Like Arkham Asylum and Darkham Asylum? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe General Hospital did that, by the way. Wow. Okay. It's kind of weird, like people are doing soaps are fans of the comics and doing funky stuff in there. Yeah. Anyway. We have Whovians that are creating characters called the Warthor.
Warthor. That's what he should just say that like a Pokemon. Warthor.
Warthor. Say that 3 times fast.
He does look pretty cool though, I have to admit.
He does look cool.
It's like, damn it, Marvel. You made something that looks really cool. Same thing with that octopus Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
Superior Octopus looks great.
It's just kind of a weird story.
And he's in his 20s. Which means that he'll be around for another 100 years. So there you go. Listen, could we just have some big news tomorrow? Like, Marvel and 20th Century Fox is so friendly that they just gave them the Fantastic Four back. Great, right? Please. Hugh Jackman changed his mind. I don't know. Whatever. Something. Are we supposed to get a trailer soon or something? Like Justice League or something? What's going on?
Yeah, we'll be probably getting that pretty soon.
How can we get excited about that, though, really, right? I mean, I look, I'm not a DC expert by any means. No way, shape, because I'm a Marvel guy. But, like, wouldn't Batman be recruiting instead of Bruce Wayne? Wouldn't that the way be working? Like, why would he reveal his identity to everybody? That's not like, isn't that weird to you?
It's weird, yeah.
Why don't you just be Batman saying, you're the Flash or whatever, and like throw it? I'm like, well, I don't,
Or instead of recruiting them, why can't they just all come together themselves like they used to?
Are they going to throw Jennifer Garner in there in the movie?
Why would they do that?
I don't know. That's his wife. I mean, will she appear with him, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it.
Yeah.
That'd be too much like Daredevil.
Well, Justice League. And they're going to do Justice League Dark also?
Apparently.
They name it a team, Dark?
Yeah, it's like Constantine and was it Swamp Thing or Man Thing? Whichever one is DC.
It's always like Man Thing is Marvel.
Swamp Thing, and I think Zatanna.
Isn't that weird how they're both the same shit?
It's weird, yeah.
Well, actually, I think Swamp Thing talks and Man Thing doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
Man Thing is just so effed up or weird. It's just like an actual puppy or whatever it is, just like that mentality. Which you can't really do anything with a comic like that, So he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
But there was a Man. What's the Man Thing movie?
Yeah, there was both actually, I think.
And I never saw the Man Thing movie.
I know Sci-Fi did a movie about it.
It was Man Thing.
It was weird.
I just want things to go back when I was a kid where There's tons of video games out for superheroes.
Yeah.
And it's not complicated. Like, you know, you have a Nintendo Switch, you're popping out like 10 friggin' superhero movies in the next year. Not movies, I mean the games, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even obscure ones, too. You wouldn't have to have the main ones. Take a risk. Do a Cloak and Dagger game or something, or whatever. Just have a game out there, you know? So, you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking about the X-Men movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
You never heard of Arcade and Murder World?
No.
Was this guy that was like always like the game, he would put these X-Men as prisoners in his murder world where there's like all these things that could kill them. We'd have this whole fortress thing.
Mm-hmm.
They'd probably do that for a movie eventually.
Maybe one day.
And they had Marvel had their, I told you, right? Marvel had their own aliens
Yes.
that they called the Brood, and they
Yes.
were basic. You know about them, right?
I've heard of them. Yeah.
They were like aliens. They can impregnate the, you know, and Wolverine's healing factor was able to stop it because they tried to impregnate him,
Oh, that's cool.
and it was just like weird. Like he actually took his clothes. I think he stabbed himself, and he ripped the thing out of his own chest or whatever.
Ooh.
Because he has healing. I mean, I remember something like that happened in the comic. He's like screaming, like ah! He ripped the thing and he like squeezed it. But that was like, oh god, how great would that be for a Wolverine movie? Wolverine versus the Brood.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you're watching this video, do it, Jackman. That would be great. Or even Wolverine and Deadpool versus the Brood for Deadpool 3.
That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting. So, you saw all the Predators, right?
Oh yeah.
I remember, like, after Predator 2, they said they were going to do something where they're going to have the Predator in the Old West. Remember that?
No. What the hell?
They were talking about having the Predator in the Old West to show where the gun that they gave Danny Glover came from.
Oh, okay. You know, they did a fan film of it was Predator in the Middle Ages.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's on YouTube. Yeah.
I like some of that stuff when they do that stuff.
Yeah. And they
You
did
know?
that Batman versus the Predator fan film.
That was great.
That was cool. Yeah.
They spent money on that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, I know we're probably never going to see it, but I remember when I was reading the comics and they did the Marvel vs. DC.
Yeah.
And I was so happy with that. That was crazy, you know? And they both made money off that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nuts, you know? If people could just get their shit together, there'd be so many much more cool movies out there, you know? But people are just like, oh, I want to make more than you make or something or some stupid shit. Nobody can get along, and then it's like, okay, whatever. So, just like, you know, Marvel, I mean, Disney wants to get rid of all the actors, you know? Like Robert Downey Jr., all these people, because they pay them too much. Listen, with all the billions of dollars it makes, who gives a shit? Give them whatever, man. What's the difference? I mean, how long is, you know, Robert Downey Jr., right? I mean, he's been in the role how many years now, you know? So what if you give him 50 million? Give him 55, give him 60, whatever. What's the difference? You know? Maybe if it's not money, maybe you can give him roles in something, you know, like whatever. I mean, there's just got to be a way to keep these people. I wouldn't, if I was Disney, I mean, I would be more interested in continually making good quality movies, but not have to worry about replacing the cast. Like, I know that the Avengers team has to change, but you don't have to really change it like now or the next couple of years. It could be new members, but they don't have to kill off Captain America or, you know, like, honestly, there was always supposed to be a Captain America 4 with Steve Rogers. It was supposed to be Red Skull because that was always the plan. So what is it to say that they have another movie each, you know? Like, they all have a fourth movie. So what? Thor 4, okay. Doesn't have to be She-Thor.
Anything's possible, you know?
And, you know, the Hulk movie, they don't need to do an origin. It's done. You could just do the leader. But the only thing I had a problem with the Hulk villains is that he never had a good gallery of villains, I don't think. It was always like a handful. It's like the same shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like stupid shit, like Hulkbusters, Doc Samson was like a psychologist, but he had whole hair. It was like, you know, it's like weird. But there was never anybody that was really, even Abomination kicked his ass, you know? There was never really anybody that was like, oh shit, this guy can beat the Hulk. You know, it was like nobody that was really, I mean, the leader had the intelligence, but he wasn't super strong, you know? But if you had somebody that could actually like really F up the Hulk, I think they had Apocalypse. They had to bring in an X-Men villain into the Hulk comic to try to cause some shit, I think, at one point in time. Even Onslaught, they brought in Onslaught to try to be like I mean, the thing is, like, Jean Grey went, I don't know if you've ever heard that with Onslaught. You know Onslaught, right? The character?
Yeah, I know who he is.
Jean Grey went into the Hulk's head to turn him back to the way it was, where the madder he gets, the stronger he gets. And the Hulk defeated Onslaught. I mean, but everybody else died. But then they had to go into another universe, whatever. But that's it. It's like you need a powerful foe for the Hulk, kind of. Which is going to be pretty cool when Thanos comes into the picture.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
All right, Chris. I'm getting tired. I know you're getting tired. We're out of here. Good night. Take care. Bye for now.